Good morning, Bulldog Nation. Welcome to another edition of Coach's Corner here on GoRedlands.com. I'm Lance Franey, Sports Information Director here at the University of Redlands. And joining me this morning is head men's soccer coach Ralph Perez. Ralph, thanks so much for joining me this morning.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Lance. It's good to be aboard with you and excited about what's coming forward.
Yeah, so it's great to see you. It's been a while since I've seen you, since our offices are right next to each other. I know you've been recruiting hard this summer. But the first question I have for you, tell me about the summer. Have you been able to relax a little bit, enjoy some family time?
Yeah, I think a little bit of everything. You know, I had a terrific trip to the East Coast. Went back to my alma mater. We had a big reunion of the team that went to the NCAA final. Got to see some MLS games live in Yankee Stadium and Red Bull Arena down in Miami. And more importantly, my way of thinking is always somehow it's soccer related as well. Got some family time. And more importantly now, we've been really busy recruiting in the whole month of July. And we're going to continue that fashion right on through the calendar year.
Mm-hmm. Now, looking back on last year in 2021, you won the SCIAC tournament title, earned a berth into NCAA Division III National Championships, made it to the round of 16, had 6 All-SCIAC performers, a SCIAC Defensive Athlete of the Year. You had 17 wins, the most since 2016. You had 3 All-West Region members, 5 named Casada Academic All-District. You saw the team finish ranked number 12 in the final Division III national polls. Do you ever look back on this season and what the team accomplished?
It's funny you mentioned that. I was just looking at what you put up for our schedule, and you put down everybody's records of the teams that we're playing on the schedule alongside it. And I happened to look at our final record. You lose track of the final record. All I focus on is trying to finish first in the regular season. And you got to give Claremont the championship there. They've won it 2 years in succession there, which bothers me a great deal, but that's life. But winning the conference tournament, which we hadn't done in a while, was a major item on our agenda. And it just turned out to be really something unique because it was the first time we played a SCIAC final away. We played a dozen of them at home and won some and lost too many on Farquhar Field. But I thought last year's group came together really good. I thought in 2020, after we came back from Spain, we were ready to do some serious things. And then the whole country got hit with COVID. So I think in that interim period from that spring when we went home in 2020, right on through the following spring, and then right into preseason last summer, I think the group of guys stayed focused, stayed energized. And I think that's why we had the year we had, to be honest. It was a group that stayed together, worked together, and it all started with that trip to Spain. We had a great trip over there. We played well. We saw great soccer. We got a great opportunity to see world-class soccer in a team like Real Madrid and Manchester City in a Champions League. We stayed in the National Training Center of Spain, its national team. We got to see my favorite team in Spain, Atletico Madrid, play as well. And the guys really, when you're staying together 24/7, the way we were in that kind of housing and eating and sleeping and just breathing soccer for our whole spring break, I thought it was a fabulous opportunity. Very similar to the team that you're talking about, the record that when we went to England, the same kind of bonding, the same kind of come together and stay together, I think made that group very special, especially the 4 gentlemen that came back for that 5th year that did a great job. And Mikey Flota, Antonio, obviously Ari having Player of the Year, and then Colin Shuffletel, who had a bang-up year, scoring 14 goals. And it was a change that I made, and I saw it in the spring, and I told him he was going to play there, and he gravitated to it, and he honed his skills to it, and had a fabulous season, sticking in 14 goals, which is nothing but a great feat.
Absolutely. Now, how do you build off the success of that year, especially with a lot of young talent coming in for you?
Well, I think one of the things that we've tried to establish here at the University of Redlands, which was established by my predecessor, Rob Becerra, the success, success breeds success. We set a bar very high. We work very hard. We know it's not getting any easier. The conference is getting completely competitive from 1 through 9. The addition of Chapman 5-6 years ago made us even stronger and deeper. All the coaches that I compete against are excellent coaches doing fabulous jobs with their programs. So it is a real playing the SCIAC schedule is really difficult, playing the home and away. I just wish our conference got more credit on a national level, but I think the University of Redlands has represented the conference outstanding. A couple of years back, Claremont did a good job of getting to the Sweet 16. So I think that, what we're trying to do all the time is build to stay on top, to not be just a one and done year, have one good year. We've been very fortunate. We're the only team that's played every conference postseason tournament. And, it's going to be a challenge, no question. We have some major holes to fill. We got a chance to look at that in the spring in our training. We got a good opportunity to play against a quality Division I program, which we do every spring. This year we played Loyola Marymount University. So it showed us where our strengths are, where our weaknesses are, and clearly the way our schedule is set, we're going to find out a lot about ourselves early in the season.
Of course. Now, how would your players describe you as a leader? What's your leadership coaching style like?
Old school. What I mean by that is I've been doing it for quite some time. I think obviously you have to roll with the times and change with the times. Clearly for me, when I came back to college coaching from the pro game, I had to look at things a little differently, stepping from the pro game to collegiate soccer, coming back into college soccer and working at the NCAA Division III level. I don't see any distinguish between 1, 2, and 3, except that, the funding, Division 1, 2, and 3. I think we've done very well with our program here at the University of Redlands. And I think one of the challenges that I found was that I inherited a very, very successful program, a program that went always to the NCAA final and had just won 5 straight conference championships. In those days, the regular season champion went right to the NCAA tournament. There was no post-conference tournament. I think that one of the things that I've learned in coaching over the years is that you need to listen to your players. You need to trust them. You need to have faith in each other. I've been blessed over the years to have some outstanding assistant coaches that were GAs. Presently, Coach Carlson, now that we have this position full-time, has now been with me for some extended time. So I think we make a great team together because by no means is this a one-man show. Claudio Rivas has been good. Giovanni has been great with our keepers. So we've got a good staff. And then we've been very, very blessed and fortunate in our recruiting, because that's your lifeline to your program, finding quality, talented players, which we have been able to do continuously over the last 20 years of the University of Redlands program in this 21st century.
Yeah. Now, what's your vision for the program moving forward?
Well, one of the things that you find out, Lance, all the time is when you go to the NCAA tournament, you get a chance to measure yourself against teams that you read about, see about. You watch many of the games on live streaming now. You follow the tournament. We've played some of the best teams in the nation in the regular season, like a Messiah College, who's won 10 national titles. And we've gone back to play Trinity and San Antonio. We've gone to all the way to New Jersey to play a school like Stevens Tech, who's a strong, formidable opponent from New Jersey. And then the NCAA tournament has taken us all over the country, from Seattle to Atlanta to North Carolina to Indianapolis, last year to Boston as well. So, and we've played some matches at home. We've gotten a chance to measure ourselves against some of the finest programs in the country, teams from the UAA, like Emory, like Chicago, Washington U of St. Louis. So we've been blessed, and we played those guys and we've beaten them. And that says a lot for our conference. And we've also been able to attract teams to come and play us and us to go back and play them. So thanks to the University of Redlands' commitment to our opportunity to play teams out of our region, does give us a chance to measure ourselves. We're working hard to try to bring teams to come to the West Coast, which is not an easy task, but we've been able to do some of that over the years as well, bringing Carnegie Mellon out, bringing Rutgers Newark, Christopher Newport, all good, formidable programs this year, Montclair State. So we always want to test ourselves, and we're surely going to test ourselves with our opening trip to play Hope College and Calvin College.
Now, this past year, you collected your 400th win. What keeps you going, coaching at such a high level?
Well, I love it. I have a passion for the game. I've always loved the game of soccer from childhood on. Had an opportunity to play with great players in high school and college. My college roommate won the Herman Trophy Award, which is the similar of winning the Heisman. My college roommate, Farouk Karashi. I've been blessed to be involved in the game at all levels, meaning not only the collegiate level, but the Olympic development level, our national youth teams, our national World Cup team to qualify for the first World Cup in 40 years in 1990, to coach the Olympic team in 92, and then to jump into Major League Soccer when it began in 96 for 10 years. That passion and love for the game has fueled me. It still fuels me. I'm pretty much soccer 24/7. When I'm not thinking about Redlands, I'm thinking about the U.S. team. I'm thinking about what we can do to improve our program, what we can do to improve soccer in America, being involved in many programs as far as with the United Soccer Coaches Association, as well as U.S. Soccer.
Mm-hmm. Now, what are you looking forward to with this new group of players coming in for this year? You lost a number of veterans. Are these players going to be able to make an immediate impact?
Well, I think one of the things that we're really fortunate about, a player like Peyton Menty is coming back for his 5th year. And that's a big addition to our team, just like last year, Ari and Colin and Mikey Flota and Antonio coming back. We're hoping, as we speak at this hour, that Steve Acuna will be back. We're hoping that he's going to be able to swing that financially. Also, the way it works at our program, a lot of people pay their dues, meaning they don't play much their freshman year, sophomore year, and they're looking forward to the opportunities that present themselves when graduation does occur, and gets a chance to now go from maybe a reserve player to a starter. And I think the depthness that we've had in our roster from day one has always made training very competitive, and more importantly, players that I know are ready to step into a bigger role and take it on. And I think a few players that I would put in that category right now is Ethan Kovac is going to be ready to step in there along with Menty and Steve Acuna. I think also when I look at the group of players that are returning, we've got a good group there in Quinn Richards, BJ Johnson, Nico Mencia, that are all came together as a recruiting class. Andre Torres and Ryan Holbert. These are going to be our seniors. And what we try to encourage our seniors, we have a very simple philosophy. We want our seniors to take ownership of the season because we know it's their last. There's no next year. So them to be a leader by example, to be a leader on and off the field, and really encourage everyone that it's a big year because, you spend 8 months of the year preparing for these 4 months of the year. And it can be short if you don't do a good job during the regular season to get into the postseason.
True. Now, the last question I have for you, what differentiates the University of Redlands from other like institutions, and what drew you to coach here at the U of R?
Well, I think a lot of things brought me to the University of Redlands. First of all, I was fully aware of this conference because I began my coaching back in 1974 at Whittier College, and I got my degree at Whittier, master's there. I think one of the challenges that I've seen about our conference over these years is that just the quality of coaching, and more importantly, younger coaches, good young coaches that have come into the league to challenge people like myself and Eddie Carrillo at Chapman and Bill Schwartz, I guess, who we're the older guys with the gray hair and so forth. But I think one of the things as well, this conference has grown. There's been a greater commitment to soccer over the years. I still think, University of Redlands Farquhar Field is one of the best fields in the West Coast, but whether it's Division 1, 2, or 3. I was just paid that compliment yesterday by one of the coaches from Dominguez Hills. Their head coach said it was the first time he ever stepped foot at Redlands, and he was blown away with the quality of the field. The addition of lights in 2007. We're blessed for the Farquhar family for their donation to that facility. I think separates us from a lot of the other programs. I'm a big fan of grass, not a big fan of AstroTurf. So the fact that we have that and a little beautiful practice field that Kelly Cooper and his staff provide, the leadership of Mr. Jeff Martinez and the continuity that he brings to the program. And we're very excited over the fact that, our entire athletic program, there's a real commitment by all the head coaches to really excel in their sports as well. So there's a challenge there that we have to be successful. We all take it seriously. There is a real excitement buzz in the campus with last year's addition to our new president, Christy Newkirk, who's added some new energy and enthusiasm and commitment to overall the whole university, but also for athletics. So we're thrilled with the prospects of what the future brings. We're thrilled that, a new season brings new challenges. And a friend of mine put it pretty good. Everybody has great dreams in August when you start preseason. But when it comes to November, it becomes nightmares because the seasons come to maybe not what you were hoping for. And so our goal always is to try to be the last man standing in SCIAC, to go on and represent the SCIAC. We haven't done it all the time, but we surely have had our fair share amount. And I have nothing but respect for the other 8 programs. But our commitment continually is that we want to be competing, and I want my athletes to always feel that if they come to the University of Redlands, they're going to have a chance to compete for SCIAC regular season championships and postseason championships, as well as to compete in the NC2A championships.
Of course. Now, the last part of our interview I have for you, I have these quick little questions for you just to get to know who you are. Who is Ralph Perez? So the first thing that pops to your head when I ask you these, okay? Favorite food?
Italian.
Anything specific or just?
Yeah, my wife's pasta.
Your wife's pasta. Okay. A hobby for you. I know you're soccer 24/7, but is there anything out there that you like to do as a hobby?
Well, I love watching sports. I like basketball. I love college basketball. I like NFL and college football. I enjoy sports because that's what I do for a living. And I did play high school basketball and college basketball. So there is a passion for basketball. But I think one of the things that people don't realize about me is that my best thing that I love more than anything is family time. Just when you are in the off season, to give your family a little more time. We've got 3 granddaughters now, as well as my 3 beautiful children. So that's a nice little addition to our family, the grandchildren. And that's a big thing, to try to see my son's children, because he's in the military. He's in the Army now for 15 years. He served us in 2 deployments to Afghanistan, and he's taken me all over the world to see him, whether it be Germany, Washington, Idaho, Colorado, and now Hawaii.
Wow. Well, yeah, family time is crucial. Absolutely. Now, favorite movie or genre movie that you enjoy watching?
Well, I think one of the greatest movies ever made was The Godfather. I've watched 1 and 2 many times. I didn't think 3 was as good or in the ballpark, but that one is right up there. And I know that they're having a big celebration of the amount of years now that it's, I think 25 years it's been out. And it was an unbelievable cast, and I thought an excellent movie.
Mm-hmm. Now, how about favorite music or genre of music?
Well, there's two things that I grew up on. One, Motown, and two, salsa, being Puerto Rican, salsa music. So those are my two passions, but I do love music. It's a big part of my commute to work, because since I've worked at Redlands, I've spent a lot of hours in my car driving to and from, because I've never lived in the Redlands community. So music is important to me, and I really enjoyed that. One of the hobbies that I picked up that I realize it's a lot of work is that I've been doing a podcast with Ray Reed, who was the longtime UConn, University of Connecticut coach. We call it For the Love of the Game with Ralph Perez and Ray Reed. We just finished our first season with 10 episodes, and it's gone very, very well. And we're about to embark on the next 10 episodes. So I look at that as giving something back to the game, and it's been a real cool thing to be on the other side, like you're doing, asking the questions, and it's been very insightful and enlightening with these big soccer people that we've had on our show.
Yeah, and you've been a broadcaster with the LA Galaxy. You've been on the radio, and you've also had big names on your podcast too.
Yeah, the radio thing just fell into my lap when I was done, and they asked me would I be interested in doing the color commentating with Joe Tutino, who I think is outstanding play-by-play guy. Did some also with the NBC gentleman who's been on NBC Sports for a long time, that has his show, and he was fun to work with. And then more importantly for me, Fred was really an interesting guy, because he's been doing that NBC Sports for 30 plus years. And then doing this podcast was really a fun thing, because Carly Lloyd, a world-class retired player now with the women's national team, Kobe Jones, Alexi Lawless, Taylor Twellman, were fantastic people to deal with. I mean, I coached both Alexi and Kobe. Never had the chance to coach Taylor, but competed surely against them many times. And then some of the coaches and administrative people in the game that we have. Our next 10 episodes are going to be all national team coaches: Jill Ellis, Anson Dorrance, Bruce Arena, Bob Bradley, just to name a few. So it's been great. And then some of the people that are very important in the game of soccer, like a Nelson Rodriguez with Major League Soccer, Amanda Vandervoort, the great retired women's coach from Florida, Becky Burley. So we've got a whole list over the next 2 seasons to go forward for the rest of this year. And it's kind of fun. It's a good hobby. And I've learned a lot about asking the right questions.
Yeah, of course. Well, Ralph, that's all the time I have with you for today. I really appreciate you hopping on to our Bulldog Sports Network Coaches Corner with me. I really appreciate that.
It's my pleasure, Lance, and I look forward to this this next season. Someone asked me how many years have you been coaching? I make it very simple. This is going to be my 16th year at Redlands, because I've been coaching for over 4 decades, and it's amazing how the time does go. But I can honestly say to you, it's great to have you here with us now instead of being at Whittier. By having you here, and we look forward to working with you this coming season in 2022.
No, thank you. I appreciate that, Ralph. Well, Bulldog Nation, make sure you stay tuned to our next Coaches Corner next week on GoRedlands.com. For Ralph Perez, I'm Lance Franey. Go Dogs.